It's the 13th of August 2018, a brand new month, and of course, new things happening in Kenya, so much, especially in the political, socio-economic arena. Thank you so much for tuning in to your favorite political show, The Mukami Show. Today, let's talk about the current demolitions happening in Nairobi County, of course, which have been sanctioned by the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA. And apparently, 4,000 illegal structures that are standing on either grabbed or riparian land are going to be brought down by the National Environment Management Authority. 4,000 illegal structures. The question that we as the ordinary citizen are asking ourselves, who is responsible for all this mess? Because it's a mess, because take a look at this. This is the Java Kileleshwa Shell petrol station. This building has been here for as long as 40 years, but it's been demolished. Look at this other one that is owned by a former lawmaker from Bobasi, the South End Mall, been demolished. And of course, this one, take a look at this one. It's UK, the UK mall. It's been demolished. Now, these are just some of the malls that are among the 4,000 structures that I just talked about that are going to be demolished. And the question that we are asking ourselves, who is responsible for this chaos? How did we find ourselves in this mess? Before you put up a building in Nairobi, we have relevant bodies and authorities which should oversee the whole issue. For example, I'm going to bring in the National Environment Management Authority, which oversees all environmental activities being undertaken in our country. We also have the National Construction Authority, which is the chief regulator in the construction sector in our country. So even before we go further, let's bring in these two major bodies and ask ourselves, how comes up until this moment, it's when they just woke up and realized that these buildings are sitting on the grabbed or riparian land? That's a question that even an ordinary person is asking, that where were the officers when these buildings were taking place? Who authorized their being there? Who licensed them? And this is where the county council comes in, because they are the ones who give licenses. And we've had this issue for so long. We've had building collapsing because, well, the National Construction Authority did not do its part, NEMA did not do its part, and the county officials either were bribed or, did something that is illegal and allowed the construction of that illegal structure there. So all these bodies, instead of creating a situation where there is level playing ground and where the law is upheld, they're the ones who are breaking the law, because they cannot just come from nowhere and say that this particular building needs to go down. Also, developers of such facilities should take up their roles and responsibilities as good citizens very seriously, because for you to buy a land, you have to know the specifics of that specific piece of land you're buying. You have to know that this land is not grab land, does not belong to somebody else, does not belong to the government, does not sit on a wetland. So still, even as much as we blame the lead agencies, we will also blame the developers, because they also choose to ignore what they are supposed to know, and that is very wrong as citizens. We are glad that the president has come in and he has said that every person who oversaw this kind of chaos, who oversaw this kind of breakdown of the rule of law, is going to be held accountable. I hope everybody in that chain, they are all going to be held accountable, and that is county officials who either received bribes to allow such illegal structures to come up, the NEMA officials, the WARMA, that is the Water Resources Authority officials who slept on their jobs. We also have the National Construction Authority, and even the developers themselves. Issues of compensation, nobody should be compensated there because, well, that is public land. It's supposed to be conserved, as well as, and people should not see this as a revenge attack by the government. They should see it for the long term. It's for the long term, and it's for the good of the whole country, because any person who's passed by, especially that area of Kileleshwa, when it rains, that place floods, and nobody can even, not even a matatu can pass by that area. So when we have such illegal structures being brought down, well, it's for the good of everybody. So we are at this particular situation because, one, citizens and also public officials break the law. They do not see the need to observe the law. They are a law unto themselves. They receive bribes. They are greedy. They involve themselves in corruption. That's why we have buildings coming down, people getting killed and trapped in those buildings. We have now buildings being demolished, many people going at a loss just because public officials and also the developers themselves did not play their part in ensuring that their responsibilities of ensuring and of upholding the law has been done. It's a situation that we would not like to see happening. We are glad that so many other buildings will come down, of course, too painful for the owners, but it's for the betterment of the whole country at large. And also it's going to serve as a warning for any other person who engages in such illegal activities, who engages in corruption, who breaks public trust, that the law, that the long arm of the law is always going to come at you. So the whole thing that we as Kenyans can learn from all that is happening right now in our country is that if you engage in an illegal activity, it's definite that the long arm of the government will catch you soon. So you better stop whatever you are doing. Thank you so much for tuning in to your favorite political show, The Mukami Show. You can like, subscribe, and also click on alert notifications. See you on our next show.